Bicol was the land of wild plains and fertile field. Anything planted in its soil yielded bountiful harvest. The first man was Baltog, originally from Botavara and one of the race Lipod. His densa or gabi plants were the luscious in the place, but were destroyed by a great Tandayag boar. Furious, Baldog pursued the boar and killed it, not with a lance but by breaking its jaws with his strong arms. The supersized bore and jawbones as wide as two arms extended, and tusks which measured about two-thirds longer than the handle of his lance. He hung the gigantic jawbone on the atalisay tree near his house in Tondol. All the people who came from as far as Panikiwasun were struck by the monstrous size of the dead boar.
Soon after, Handinum came to Bicol and destroyed the wild creatures roaming the land. In Ponong, he slew, after a 10 months fight, the beasts with one eye and three throats, winged sharks under the sea, wild boar carabos, and man-eating crocodiles bigger than boats. To the mountain Kulasi, he exiled the Salimao and buried in Mantik all the serpents whose voices rang like sirens. One Isilid snake, however, he failed to subdue despite all his effort, known as Oriol. The snake was sometimes serpent, sometimes woman. To Handinong, Oriol was a challenge, for even he would bind her 1,000 times. She would scoff him, mocking at him, and cleverly untie her knots. With words she would entice Handidong, who would search the forest for her. But she was seductive as well as deceitful. She would dwarf his labors and interfere with his battle. There was occasions when she helped fight and kill the animal infesting the place. In the fights with giant crocodiles, which colored red the Bicol River, he emerged unhurt, while the apes of the Bongko and Orgatun variety, who had watched with horror, were finally driven to the mountain Isaro.
Having thus freed the land from a wild beast, he devoted himself to a settled life. He exhorted his people to plant linsa and rice. He built the first boat ever to ply the Bicol River. Its rudder and sail were contribution of Kimanta, one of his men who also invented the plow, harrow, and rule, including the ganta and other measures. The yoke, bolo, and hoe. Hablon invented the waving loom and bobbins. The native of Dinahon worked on the jar, clay pot, stove, earthen bowl, and household utensils. Sural carved a biko celebari out of a stone from libong and polished to shine by gapon. Handiyong and his men built throngs. The houses of varying size hung from the branches of the manasi and kamagong trees. The reason was it was only up in the mug, as the houses were cold, that one could escape the heat and swarming insects and the wild animals. That to ensure protection of life and honor, and accord equality to all without distinction. With this, respect for rights and heritage and succession were guaranteed. A slave the master kept to his own place.
Suddenly, the great deluge caused by tempest brought havoc and destruction to the growing civilization. The catastrophe completely transformed the land. Three volcanoes, Hamtik, Kulasi, and Isarog, erupted simultaneously and caused a strip of land, now known as Pasakaw, to rise from the sea. Torn apart from the mainland was Malbogon, now an islet, where lived two witches named Hilan and Lariong. The Inarihan River turned its course and overflowed to Ponong. In Bato, a big mountain sank, and its place up came a lake which supplied with fish to all of Ibalan. The Dagatang tribe, from which had come the Dumagats from Kotmon, was wiped out as the Gulf of Calabagnan overflowed. Handyong had a close companion, the young warrior Bantong. To him, Handyong entrusted the job of getting rid of Rabot, a fierce monster who was half man and half beast. How many of the people that came near his lair were turned into stone by the beast? The plague of the land, he was also known as the Great Liar. Smart Bantong first tried to find out about the monster's habits, and he guessed right. Rabot slept heavily all day long as he simply rolled over the ground. After watching him for days, Bantong slew the monsters in two parts and brought the corpse to Limbanan, where Handiong viewed the remains amidst the loud rejoicing of his people. But the sight of Rabot shocked Handiong. For a long time, he remained stupefied. Why and what else happened is not known, as Kadugnong stops his narration and promises to talk about it next time.